Let's travel this wonderful city, Paris. Paris, the French capital. Known worldwide as the City of Light. Considered one of the most romantic cities in the world, it's also one of the cities that receives the most tourists annually. It boasts numerous historical monuments, museums, and fantastic places to visit. You will embark with us on a unique adventure, exploring the 10 must-see tourist spots of this iconic city. Eiffel Tower. This Parisian icon was constructed with a metal structure that rises over the city, reaching a height of 324 meters. Undoubtedly, it's the most sought-after destination for tourists. It was founded in 1889 for the Universal Exhibition amid controversies. In a short period, it became a symbol of France and the city of Paris. It's located on the Champ de Mars and can be seen from various places in the city. When you visit, you can walk underneath it for free. If you want to go up the tower, you can choose between taking the elevator or the stairs. For this, you'll need to buy entrance tickets, which you can find on online ticket-selling websites. It has 3 levels available for visitors. On the first level, there's an exhibition about the history of the Eiffel Tower, souvenir shops, and the Madame Brasserie restaurant. If you wish to experience it, we advise booking a table in advance. On the second level, you can find the Jules Verne restaurant. If you want to dine here, we also recommend making a reservation well in advance. Lastly, on the third level, at a height of 264 meters, you're greeted with a fantastic panoramic view of the city of Paris. As night falls, a beautiful spectacle unfolds when the Eiffel Tower lights up with thousands of lights. This light show, known as the Eiffel Tower Light Show, happens every hour, and many visitors gather around to admire the brilliance and the wonderful lights on the tower. If you want to take photos, we have some tips for you. At Place du Trocadero, you can climb the stairs or take photos in the gardens. On the Champ de Mars, our suggestion is to walk towards the end of the garden if it's too crowded for taking photos, and also for capturing better shots, showing the entire tower. Along the banks of the River Seine, there are several spots with pedestrian paths, offering beautiful photo opportunities. You can also cross the Passerelle d'Eboli, the Bir-Hakeim Bridge, and the stunning Alexandre III Bridge to take photos from incredible angles. Louvre Museum. One of the most iconic museums in the world and one of the most sought-after destinations for tourists visiting the city of Paris. A landmark of the city, it is located on the right bank of the Seine River, in the first arrondissement, within the majestic Louvre Palace, originally built as the Louvre Castle in the 12th and 13th centuries during the reign of Philip II. It covers an area of 72,735 square meters and currently houses one of the richest and most extensive art collections on the planet, with approximately 380,000 items and 35,000 works of art from different periods and cultures. Inside, you can admire famous works of art, such as the iconic Mona Lisa by Leonardo da Vinci, the famous Greek sculpture Venus de Milo, among many other items and works of extreme historical importance. What makes it even more iconic and a symbol of the city of Paris is the 5 glass pyramids, conceived between 1988 and 1993. The largest of these pyramids is positioned above the museum's main entrance. A good tip is that to reach the pyramids and the main entrance of the museum, you can also walk through the famous Tuileries Garden, thus visiting 2 tourist spots at once. If you prefer, there are 2 other entrances and exits to the museum, located on Rue de Rivoli and Quai François Mitterrand. Please note that to enter the museum, you need to purchase entry tickets. Don't forget to allocate a significant amount of time in your trip dedicated to the museum if you want to see it in its entirety. Its structure is vast, there are many artworks to appreciate, and you might spend more time than expected. And even if you use other entrances, don't miss the opportunity to take incredible photos at the pyramids. The photos become even more beautiful at dusk. Arc de Triomphe. This imposing historical monument was commissioned by Napoleon Bonaparte in 1806, following his impressive military victories, with the aim of honoring the French army. However, its construction wasn't completed until 1836, after Napoleon's fall, becoming a lasting symbol of French national pride. In addition to commemorating military achievements, the Arc de Triomphe also serves as a memorial for unknown soldiers, housing the tomb of the unknown soldier since 1920. This sacred site is a poignant reminder of the sacrifices made during times of war and the lives lost to protect freedom. It's situated on the Champs-Élysées, renowned for its luxury shops. Standing at 50 meters in height, It stands out on the skyline and can be seen from afar at various points around the city. You have the possibility to enter and ascend the Arc de Triomphe by purchasing an entrance ticket and conquering 284 steps. As the Arc is located in the center of a bustling roundabout, our suggestion for a close-up visit is to use the tunnel entrance at the corner of Champs-Élysées Avenue. For photos with the full arc in the background, we recommend utilizing one of the corners or streets around the roundabout. In this case, don't cross the tunnel for taking pictures. Another interesting tip is that it illuminates at 6:30 p.m. every day at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, paying tribute to all those who lost their lives in wars. Saint Chapel. Saint Chapel is located on the Isle de la Cité in Paris and is one of the most impressive and dazzling Gothic churches in the world, considered one of the most important historical monuments. Built in the 13th century by King Louis IX, it was designed to house precious religious relics, including the crown of thorns believed to have been worn by Christ. The church comprises two chapels, the lower chapel used by servants and clerics, and the upper chapel intended for the royal family. Beyond its history and beauty, what makes it even more iconic and a must-see are its stained glass windows, of which 1/3 are still original from the 13th century. Through 1,113 scenes, these windows retell the Bible from the Book of Genesis to the Apocalypse. In total, the windows form 15 sets, each about 15 meters tall, plus the grand rose window on the west facade. These stained glass windows are located in the upper chapel and possess such a unique and enchanting beauty that many tourists find themselves moved upon entering. The rose window on the extreme west is also particularly impressive, with its shades of blue and gold forming a celestial mandala. To visit Saint Chapel, you need to purchase an entrance ticket. Our tip is not to miss the opportunity to explore this monument. Opéra Garnier. The Opéra Garnier, also known as Palais Garnier, is one of the most magnificent architectural treasures of the city. This 19th century masterpiece is an exceptional example of the opulence and elegance that characterize Parisian architecture. Designed by architect Charles Garnier, it was inaugurated in 1875. Since then, it has been the home of the Paris Opera, hosting numerous musical productions and spectacular dances, while also being an important venue for social and cultural events. The heart of the Palais Garnier is its stunning auditorium, known as the Grande Salle. The focal point of the Grande Salle is the impressive ceiling painted by Marc Chagall, depicting scenes from famous operas and ballets, paying tribute to the rich history of opera and dance. The Palais Garnier also houses the famous main staircase, known as the Grand Escalier. This spiral staircase is recognized as an architectural marvel, with its marble balustrade and bronze chandeliers. As we explore the corridors and halls of the Palais Garnier, we are reminded of the stories and mysteries surrounding this place. Legend has it that a ghost, known as the Phantom of the Opera, haunts these premises. This fictional tale inspired a famous novel and musical, making the Palais Garnier even more legendary and mysterious. To visit, you should purchase entrance tickets in advance and can choose to explore on your own, take a guided tour, or attend available performances. Musée d'Orsay. The Musée d'Orsay is one of the most important museums in Paris. Located on the banks of the Seine River, within a former railway station, this magnificent museum houses an extensive collection of Impressionist, post-Impressionist, and other artistic works from the 19th and early 20th centuries. The space itself is an architectural masterpiece, blending the beauty of the old railway building with a modern glass and metal structure. Impressionism, a revolutionary artistic movement, takes the spotlight with works by iconic artists like Claude Monet, Pierre-Auguste Renoir, Edgar Degas, and Edouard Manet. The museum also showcases various famous sculptures and valuable items significant to the world's art history. To visit, you'll need to purchase an entrance ticket. And our tip is, don't miss the chance to take a photo with the grand clock of the museum. Sacré-Cœur. Our next stop takes us to one of the highest points in Paris, where we find the impressive Sacré-Cœur Basilica, located in the bohemian and artistic neighborhood of Montmartre. This magnificent church, with its architecture inspired by Roman and Byzantine art, was built as a response to the tumultuous period in France's history during the Franco-Prussian War and the Paris Commune. Its purpose was to create a place of prayer and reconciliation for the nation. Construction began in 1875 and was completed in 1914. To reach the basilica, you'll either need to climb a significant staircase or choose to use paid elevators. Upon entering the basilica, you'll find an interior rich in ornamentation, mosaics, and stained glass. If you're inclined, You can opt to ascend another staircase, this time within the Basilica, to reach the dome, from which you can enjoy a 360-degree view of Paris. Our tip is that aside from enjoying the Sacré-Cœur Basilica, you also explore Montmartre, a neighborhood known for its cobblestone streets, picturesque cafes, and bohemian atmosphere. Montmartre is the perfect place to get lost, allowing you to discover the creative and vibrant soul of Paris. Pantheon. The Pantheon is one of Paris's cultural and historical treasures. It's an imposing and deeply significant place. Located in the Quartier Latin neighborhood, this majestic neoclassical building is one of the city's most impressive structures and houses a significant part of France's history. The Pantheon was originally built as a church dedicated to Saint Genevieve, the patron saint of Paris, during the reign of Louis XV. However, after the French Revolution, it was transformed into a national mausoleum, intended to house the remains of illustrious figures who contributed to France's history and culture. Within the Pantheon, you'll find the tombs of prominent personalities from French history, such as writer Voltaire, philosopher Jean-Jacques Rousseau, mathematician Blaise Pascal, composer Hector Berlioz, and many others. Each tomb is a work of art in itself, adorned with statues, reliefs, and inscriptions that tell the story of those resting there. To visit, you'll need to purchase an entrance ticket. Les Invalides. Our next stop on our journey through Paris takes us to one of the most imposing architectural complexes in the city, Les Invalides. This grand monument is located on Rue de Grenelle and is a tribute to France's military greatness. This collection of buildings was originally constructed as a hospital and home for war veterans, under the orders of Louis XIV, the Sun King. The centerpiece of Les Invalides is the Dôme des Invalides, a spectacular golden dome that gleams in the sunlight. This dome is one of the tallest in Paris, standing at 107 meters in height, and is one of the city's most iconic attractions. Within the Dôme des Invalides, we find the Grand Tomb of Napoleon Bonaparte, the celebrated French emperor. This mausoleum is a masterpiece of art and architecture, crafted in marble and bronze, adorned with sculptures representing the military glory of the French army. As we explore the interior of Les Invalides, we encounter the Army Museum, which houses an extensive collection of military artifacts, armor, weapons, and historical paintings. This museum provides an opportunity to delve into France's military history, from the Middle Ages to modern times. One of the museum's most moving sections is dedicated to the French Revolution and the Napoleonic era. Here, you can see personal items of Napoleon, uniforms worn in historic battles, and portraits of military leaders who shaped the nation's destiny. Another highlight of Les Invalides is the Church of Saint Louis des Invalides, a royal chapel that enchants with its Baroque architecture and magnificent frescoes. The church is a place of devotion and reflection, where the memory of soldiers and military leaders is honored in solemn ceremonies. To visit, you'll need to purchase a ticket and set aside a good amount of time if you want to see it in its entirety. The structure is vast, and you might spend a little more time than expected to complete the visit. Palace of Versailles. To conclude our journey through Paris in this video, we come to the magnificent Palace of Versailles, one of France's greatest architectural achievements and one of the most visited destinations in France and the world. The Palace of Versailles is located in the metropolitan region of the French capital. This royal residence served as the seat of the French government during the reign of Louis XIV, the iconic Sun King. Stepping into the palace's halls, we are transported to the 17th century, a time of splendor and extravagance in the French court. The king and queen's chambers are filled with exquisite furnishings, precious tapestries, and magnificent paintings. The Hall of Mirrors is one of the palace's most famous and dazzling rooms. With its extravagant mirrors and crystal chandeliers, this hall was where the French royalty held grand receptions and parties. The gardens of Versailles are equally impressive. Expansive and meticulously designed, the gardens are a magnificent example of French landscaping. Here, you'll find fountains, sumptuous sculptures, and beds of colorful flowers. One of the garden's highlights is the Grand Canal, a stunning body of water that reflects the grandeur of the palace and the surrounding sculptures. Another must-see in Versailles is the Trianon, a complex of smaller palaces that served as a private retreat for the French royalty. The Trianon includes the Grand Trianon, the Petit Trianon, and the Hameau de la Reine, a rustic village built for Queen Marie Antoinette. When visiting the Petit Trianon, you'll be transported into the intimate world of Marie Antoinette. Her chambers reflect her extravagant personality and her passion for style and fashion. In the palace gardens, you'll also find wonderful restaurants and cafes. You'll need to purchase entrance tickets. And remember, the palace and its gardens are truly grand, so allocate plenty of time to fully appreciate the visit. This place is a must-see, and you won't regret it. And thus, we conclude our thrilling journey through 10 fantastic locations in Paris, the City of Lights. We hope you've been enchanted by the beauty of the Eiffel Tower, moved by the splendor of the Louvre, awed by the grandeur of the Arc de Triomphe, and experienced magical moments in Montmartre and the other places we've explored together. But our adventure doesn't end here. There's still so much more to discover in this charming city. In part 2 of this video, we will embark on a new journey, exploring another 15 fascinating and captivating tourist spots in Paris. Get ready to explore the majestic Palace of Fontainebleau, the lush gardens of Parc des Buttes-Chaumont, and much more. Join us for another exciting trip through history, culture, and the unique beauty of the French capital. If you love art, history, architecture, and gastronomy, you can't miss part 2 of this video. Subscribe to our channel so you won't miss this incredible continuation. Click the notification button to stay updated and follow us on this unforgettable adventure through Paris. Until then, let's continue our exploration of the City of Lights and its unparalleled charms. Paris is a city that envelops us in its magic and leaves us with memories that will last forever. Bon voyage and see you in part 2.